The bustling city of New York sets the stage. Isabella, the crown princess, walks briskly down the street. She blends in with the crowd, her regal background hidden beneath a simple outfit and dark sunglasses. She enjoys the anonymity of city life, free from the heavy expectations of her royal title. Princess Isabella loved the freedom that the bustling streets of New York provided. Away from the palace, she felt like a regular person. She could finally breathe and just be Izzy. Mavy walks into a local coffee shop, his usual spot for a morning pick-me-up. His dark brown eyes scan the room and land on Isabella, who is quietly sipping a coffee, absorbed in her book. Mavy's day began like any other until his eyes met the crown princess's. Her calm presence caught his attention. Unaware of her royal status, he couldn't help but be drawn to her grace. Mavy walks over to Isabella and offers a friendly smile. He's not sure if she's famous, but something about her feels special. "Is it all right if I join you?" "The coffee shop's getting crowded," Mavy asked, his voice warm and inviting. Isabella looked up, a bit startled, but nodded with a smile. "Of course." They begin talking about everyday things: books, music, life in the city. Isabella enjoys the conversation, finding it refreshing compared to the usual formalities of her world. For the first time in a long while, Izzy felt normal. Mavy's questions were simple, yet thoughtful, and they made her feel like she wasn't just a princess. Over the next few weeks, Isabella and Mavy continue meeting for coffee. They talk about everything: hopes, dreams, and even their fears. Mavy is the first person to see beyond her title. Every coffee date felt like a small rebellion, a chance for Isabella to connect with someone who saw her as more than just royalty. She was falling for him without even realizing it. As they walk through the gallery, their hands brush. Isabella feels an electric charge between them. She hasn't felt this alive in ages. Each touch, each smile, was like a spark. She had never imagined finding someone who made her feel so seen. One evening, Mavy invites Isabella to a local art gallery. She is unsure at first, worried about the risk of being recognized. But Mavy reassures her that it will be a private, intimate evening. "Let's just enjoy the art together. No one has to know who you are," Mavy said softly, his eyes locking with hers. Her heart fluttered at his words. Mavy looks at Isabella, seeing something more in her eyes. "I don't know why, but I feel like there's more to you than meets the eye. You're not just a pretty face." Isabella smiles, feeling vulnerable, yet safe in his company. "I'm glad you think that. There's a lot more to me than my title." The two share a quiet moment under the stars in the gallery's outdoor courtyard. Mavy takes her hand, and Isabella feels her heart racing. Sometimes you meet someone who changes everything. Mavy was that someone for her. Mavy invites Isabella to a dinner with his family. She's nervous, worried about being discovered, but Mavy reassures her it's casual and low-key. "Don't worry, Izzy, just be yourself, that's all anyone ever wants," Mavy said. "Okay," she smiled, her anxiety easing. At dinner, Isabella is welcomed warmly by Mavy's family. They don't care about her title, only about who she truly is. For the first time, Isabella realized that she didn't need to hide behind a title. Mavy's family accepted her for who she was. As the evening draws to a close, Mavy walks Isabella home. The tension between them is palpable. They both know this moment will change everything. Mavy stopped in front of her building, their faces inches apart. "Isabella," he whispered, "I don't want to lose you." She takes a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I don't want to lose you either, Mavy," she admits softly. The world they lived in was vastly different, but in this moment, nothing else mattered. It was just the two of them. In the following days, the bond between Isabella and Mavy deepens. Despite the pressures of her royal duties, Isabella feels more at home with Mavy than she ever did at the palace. Isabella finally realized that love wasn't about titles or wealth. It was about connection and trust. Mavy gave her that. Mavy surprises Isabella with a weekend getaway to the countryside. It's just the two of them, far from the hustle and bustle of the city. Far away from the prying eyes of the world, Isabella felt free. With Mavy by her side, she felt like she could truly be herself. On a peaceful afternoon walk, Mavy stops and takes Isabella's hands in his. I know our lives aren't simple, but I want to spend mine with you, Izzy. I feel the same way, Mavy, Isabella says, her voice trembling with emotion. The two share a tender kiss beneath the setting sun, both knowing that they've found something rare and beautiful. It wasn't just love, it was home. Isabella decides to introduce Mavy to her family. She's nervous, but knows that it's time for them to meet the person who has become so important to her. Family, this is Mavy, the one who makes me feel like I've found my place in the world. Mavy and Isabella's love story becomes a symbol of hope for others. They show that true love is possible even when the odds seem impossible. Their love was proof that sometimes two people from different worlds can find common ground. Finally, Isabella decides to step away from the rigid expectations of royalty. She chooses love, happiness, and Mavy, the man who truly understands her. Isabella's choice was clear. She wanted to live life on her terms, with Mavy by her side.